welcome to the show. This time, against Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, oil, US, and Iran. Since pandemic, the oil supply was reduced and the economy of the Middle East countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE was record low. But interestingly, after the Russia-Ukraine war, the demand of the oil has been rising up and the economy of the countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE got into its full track. This Saudi Arabia and UAE, the big oil giants, Gulf state, are making much more money than ever since 2014. Their GDP contribution from oil has been 6.1% since 2020, and the Saudi Arabia's public investment funds worth crossed more than $10 trillion. Underlining this, Saudi Arabia is now planning to engage with lesser economically vulnerable neighbor in the Middle East, and it is planning to establish 5 companies across the region, namely Bahrain, Oman, Iraq, Iran, Bahrain, Oman, Iraq, Sudan, Egypt. Saudi Arabia has also its great interest in Egypt, and it is planning much more investment for like Saudi-Egypt investment partnership. Secondly, after the Saudi Arabia-US relations went to record low, Saudi Arabia is moving ahead with increasing its ties with Iran, and Iran also sent some good signal about intention to restart their embassies in respective countries, and also warned that relying on Israel won't be beneficial for Saudi Arabia. So this has been the development since pandemic. The economy of this Gulf state is booming, and they are planning for economic diversification. Their plan to establish 5 companies across the region is to enhance infrastructure, real estate, telecoms, and technology. They learned from the lessons that through economic boom, giving handouts to their citizens and raising wages doesn't reason well. The main issue is to diversify the economy, and this is the golden time. And this Russia-Ukraine war won't be last long, and until and unless when they are making money from this war, they need to invest it in a wise form. So they have learned a lot from their past mistakes, and the Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who is also the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, is planning to enhance Saudi Arabia's diversification plan, and Saudi 2030 is also seen as a sustainable and financially successful plan after this surplus profit returns gained by these countries after the Russia-Ukraine war. So for Saudi Arabia and the UAE and other big Gulf states, they are making money from this war. And for the Europe, the winter is coming, and the world is observing how Europe will going to manage its gas supply chain in winter. This strategy will decide the ultimate destiny of this Russia-Ukraine war. Putin is much more confident that during winter, Russia has to manage gas supply at any cost, and they will kneel down in front of Moscow in the Kremlin. So Moscow is very much confident about its strategy. underlying this, there are even issues that Russia has hacked the phone of British Prime Minister Liz Truss and also observing the phone calls of new Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to know their strategy at earliest point. In conclusion, with Russia-Ukraine war, the Middle East countries, especially Saudi, is making much more money, and it is focusing on their weaker developing nations to increase their presence and also limiting their efforts, limiting their presence in Yemen war. And also Iran and Saudi wants to re-establish their relationship. So the world is uncertain and everyone wants to make their money. And for war is inevitable, but for one side, the war is painful, and for another side, the same war brings joy and happiness. Thank you so much.